I'm waiting to hear. Okay, cool.
Welcome back to another episode of Paranormal, the New Normal presents Paranormal Primetime. And we have an episode for you tonight. Of course, I am joined by Malachi as always. I had to summon him this week, though, guys. I had to summon him up here from hell to do this episode. He was down there with his buddy. He's going to talk about it in a little bit.
Yeah, buddy. How Supernatural fucked that up. And we can blame it all on Danzig.
You'll tell us why when you get to it, but
yeah.
But let's get right to it. Jump into your episode, man. I know you're dying to talk about it.
Okay, so I had what did I have? It was season 4, episode 7. It's the Great Pumpkin Sam Winchester, which I will say, perfect name for this episode. I'm glad they incorporated Charlie Brown's The Great Pumpkin into Supernatural. That makes it awesome. It was written by Julia Siege, which I don't remember, and directed by Charles Beeson. And I will... Have we heard that one?
Yeah.
I will say I've seen this episode a million times, so kind of lackluster on me, but overall it's a good episode. It starts out with some dude eating candy, and we get the whole bullshit razor blade, choking to death, dying crap. Sam and Dean go to investigate the death of Luke Wallace. And while they're in there investigating, Sam's like, "Hey, did your husband have like a mistress or something? Who'd want to do this to this guy?" And the wife gets really pissed. Of course he wouldn't have a mistress. And that's when Dean finds a hex bag. So as they're driving back to their motel or to get lunch, whatever the fuck they're doing, Sam finds gold thread and an herb that has supposedly been extinct for, this is saying 200 years. I thought they said like 600 years in the actual episode.
They said like 600, yeah.
And some old-ass Celtic coin. And the charred finger bone of an infant. And that's where Dean's like, "Ooh, sick." And Sam says, "Don't worry about it. This baby died over 100 years ago." Which, like, I don't know how you'd feel about that, right? It's still a baby, but, like, motherfucker'd be 120 by now.
But that...
Get him out of my goddamn room!
But that would have to mean that someone killed a baby at some point.
Yeah, I get it. But this all indicates that it's, like, a more powerful witch than they've dealt with throughout the season. Or seasons. So I think, like, the last time Dean still came back with, like, "Ooh, witches, skeevy." And I think he did that. That was only 4 or 5 episodes you and me did ago, right?
Yeah.
Where they had that coven with Lilith.
That was last season. I just edited that.
Yeah, but it was only a couple weeks ago for us.
A good 6-7 weeks ago. That's how many episodes I got to edit, so.
Yeah. We are flying through this shit, right? Okay, so then we switch to a high school party, and they're like, "Man, I'm so baked, blah, blah, blah." And we see this 2 cheerleaders that are like, "Hey, are we going to break into that liquor cabinet? My parents marked the bottle." And so they don't break into the liquor cabinet. And one of the girls is like, "Well, we can still make it fun." So she goes and bobs for apples. And her friend sees her bob for an apple, and this dude they're talking to, it's like, "Oh, yeah, that was cool." So the other chick goes to bob for apples, too, to try to impress homeboy over there. And all of a sudden it's like, man, she can hold her breath for a long ass time. And then next thing you know, they're trying to like pull her face out of this apple bobbing bucket, and the bucket starts boiling, and cunt dies. Cunt went down. Sam and Dean, they show up, and they're interviewing everybody, and they find that other cheerleader girl that bobbed the apple the first time, and they ask him if they know of a Luke Wallace, because that was the guy who ate the razor blade, and they say, no, I've never heard of that name. Then they find out that this might not be, because they do a background search on the two people who have died, and they both show up kind of like clean. Nobody really hates them. There's no like bad shit that's associated with them. And that's when Sam finds out that there is a 3 blood sacrifice that the last one must be performed before midnight on the final day of the final harvest, which Halloween is right now, and this can only happen every 600 years, and it's to resurrect Samhain. I will say Samhain, not Samhain, not a demon, in the Celtic calendar. And this is when the veil's the thinnest. They go into all this crap and kind of really fuck up the lore for the first time, I think, in the show, like that bad. I know you had the whole Rougarou episode was fucked up, but
Yep.
this one's super fucked up.
And did you catch their FBI names this episode?
Seeger, I didn't get the other one.
That's my episode.
Oh, no, I didn't. What was this week's?
Getty and Lee.
Guinea and Lee. Who the hell is Guinea and Lee?
Getty and Lee.
Getty and Lee. I don't get it. You're going to have to fill me in on that one.
Rush, motherfucker.
Rush was a very talented band, Jeremy. Rush. Okay, so, and basically they start talking about, well, who the hell cares? It's just another demon. And or I don't remember if it was Sam or Dean, was like, no, if Sam Hain is resurrected, he'll basically bring back everything we've ever killed and every monster in the world, and it'll just keep getting worse and worse and worse. So, switch to Halloween Day, and I might add, through this entire episode, Dean is just like, he is not on a cut, dude. This guy is getting some body fat on him, shoveling the candy in his fucking face. Oh, Halloween. Dean's sitting there eating candy like crazy, and like nothing's coming to this dude who swallowed a razor blade's house. And I don't remember exactly what he said. Was it like, my ass is starting to hurt, holy shit, or something? He does something like that. And
Yeah.
Sam like thinks that it's not anything big, but then they see that cheerleader girl who didn't make it to, or said she didn't know who the fuck that Wallace guy was, and he finds out that she's the babysitter. So once they find out this bitch is probably the witch, they look into her a little bit and find out that she got into an altercation with one of the teachers at school. So they go see this teacher who insists on them calling him Don. Even my students call me Don. Real douchebag vibes. And at this time, he's the art fucking teacher or whatever. So he's got all these like paper mache masks and shit that keep bringing visions of hell back to Dean. So when they're asking this teacher, like, what was this altercation about? He tells them that she was drawing like all these crazy symbols and like it was all these blood sacrifice pictures with her depicted in the middle. And then we find out that she was emancipated. So she just moved there by herself. Imagine what her parents were like, was the ending quote with him. So they're trying to look for this girl. No one knows, none of her friends, nobody in town knows where this girl is. When they return back to their motel room, Sam tries to attack these two dudes that are in it, and Dean's like, whoa, 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 wait up. That's Castiel. I don't know who that guy is. But then Castiel gives him this, like...
Well, wait a minute. You're skipping over the whole part where Sam basically sucks Castiel's dick.
Well, fill us in on that.
Fucking Sam walks in the room like, oh my god, I've been wanting to meet you so bad. Like puts out his hand to shake his hand. He's like, I told Dean, he's like, I always pray to angels. He's fucking kissing that angelic brown ass, dude.
Sam was, yeah. I thought you said Dean, yeah. Like Sam's like, oh my god, I'm fanboying out. I get to meet an angel. But then Castiel, like, who's this other guy? This is the angel Uriel. And they get into this thing, like they tell him, like, have you found the witch yet? They're trying to unleash Sam Hain, which is pronounced Samhain, on day 70 of learning fucking Gaelic on this side. But I've known that one for a while. And Samhain is just a season. It's like fall, harvest time. It's not a demon. But, like, they're going to summon, this witch is going to summon Sam Hain, and Sam Hain's one of the 66 seals, and we can't let this happen. Have you located the witch? Not yet. Okay, well, we're just going to Sodom and Gomorrah this whole city. And, they're fighting about that. Like, we can find one witch to save the whole... Gay meter of one on this whole conversation. Gay meter of one. So after they have this whole meeting with the angels, and fucking Castiel tells Uriel to shove it in his ass, let Sam and Dean go off and do what they want. We think they're there to, like, destroy the city. But they're driving out of there after Dean says, well, you drugged me out of hell. I guarantee the big man upstairs isn't going to let you kill me after dragging me out of hell. Sam realizes that the infant bone was charred to the point where you couldn't do it in, like, an oven or a stove or with a propane torch or something. So, obviously, the art class fucking guy got a kiln. They're going to see what that's about. When they show up back at the dude's, Halloween fell down there. When they show up back at the dude's class, Sam's like, doesn't this remind you of something? Or no, I guess that was with the mask. But they find this, like, fucking homemade bong, which I would have never gotten away with in high school. And I'm older than the high school students were in that class. You ain't getting away with making a bong.
Oh, I mean, if you have a cool enough teacher, then yeah, you will.
What, did you have an elective where, like, I went to a shittier school, I guess. I didn't have glass blowing or anything.
I had electives. I never was an art. I never was an art person. I fucking hate art.
Did you guys have any, like, glass blowing in your high school?
Not to my knowledge, no. But I also wasn't looking for it, so I don't know.
We didn't even have a fucking auto shop. The coolest one was photography.
We had it. You could go half day to, like, a tech school, which I did that for culinary, but for 2 years. But you can go half day to a tech school, and one of the things they had auto body, and they had shop, and they also had small motors.
I went to ninth grade. I was in a high school that had like an actual industrial tech with tools. I got expelled from that school, and then the
Of course you
school I
did.
was at the rest of the time, I joined industrial tech again. It was all workbook shit. We didn't make one fucking project in industrial tech.
Tch.
Fucking lame, dude. Okay, so where am I? Children's bones don't. Yeah, okay, so they. Where the hell am I? Hex
Them breaking,
bag, two
them breaking into,
shards.
them breaking into the art classroom.
Oh, okay, yeah. Before that, on the ride, Dean or Sam's like, "Yeah, these angels are dicks," and Dean's like, "Yeah,
Told you.
I told you." So, as trick-or-treaters go about their business, Sam and Dean interrupt Don sacrificing Tracy in his basement.
All right,
So,
you skipped the whole fucking part. You skipped the part where they break into the art classroom and they break open Don's desk and they find all the baby bones in a bowl.
okay. So after that happens, what Jeremy just said, they find Don trying to sacrifice Tracy, and I would have immediately thought Tracy was in on it too, right? That was suspect number one. But they just fucking from the back shoot Don a million times and release Tracy, and she's like, "Oh, thank you, this crazy son of a bitch." Find out it's her brother from 600 years ago, and he can't. I thought his incantations were better than Tracy's bullshit.
Yep.
But so Tracy completes the spell, and while they're down on the ground, Sam gets the idea to just like rub blood all over their face. And when Sam Hain comes up, Sam Hain can't see him. And then when he walks, well, he kills Tracy. You know, there's this back and forth. You're the most beautiful thing and snaps her neck. I just snaps her fucking neck.
Yeah,
And
it's
then he
his
walks off.
It's his sister, and he fucking makes out with her before snapping her neck.
Well, it's not sister anymore, because were they taking bodies? Because there was a whole part, too, where he was like, well, if you could come back in any vessel, wouldn't you take a hot cheerleader? And Dean's like, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
So he snaps her neck. Sam and Dean aren't seen because they got blood on their face. And then Dean's like, how'd you know to do that? Sam's like, I was just guessing. You were just guessing? What the fuck? Where would you go if you were going to try to raise all the dead? Let's go to the cemetery.
Well, no, and Sam says, though, he says, according to legend, Sam Hain, people started wearing masks on Halloween because Sam Hain couldn't see through the mask and it blinded him.
You are right there. You are right there. So they go to the cemetery, and Dean's like, don't use any of your freaky powers. We've got Ruby's knife. You don't need, the angels told you not to. Don't use Ruby's freaky powers. So we cut to Sam Hain. There was a party that was going to happen in the mortuary. So they think it's just Don, their douchebag teacher, who locks them in the mortuary. And then all of a sudden, all the graves start going fucking crazy. And they're like, Don, you locked us in here. Hey, Don. So, Dean says, I'll go save the kids. Sam goes off to fight the demon, which, like, on Dean's part was probably not a smart idea. I mean, in the end it was, but, like...
and when the first fucking grave pop open and the kid and the stoner kid gets pulled in, you see a lot of blood get splattered very fast. Like, zombies don't eat that fast.
Yeah. So then we cut to Sam meeting up with Samhain, and we see this light like white light that fucking Lilith does, and he's like, "Your Jedi mind tricks don't work on me, motherfucker." And they're getting into a fight. Sam's saving the fucking teenage kids out of the mortuary. And, I mean, basically, the next thing that happens is fucking Sam does his magic powers and fucks Sam Hain up. So they managed to stop Sam Hain.
He almost doesn't though. He almost doesn't because he's his nose is bleeding like crazy and like he's like holding his head trying to control it. Like I can't do it.
Yeah. So his demon powers were real. Like my son tried to do the 125s today. You know, he was struggling. He was getting it. But he kills Sam Hain, and so then once all that's done, that was kind of a climatic go nowhere.
And I mean, yeah, they stopped him, but the seal's still broken because he got released.
Seal. Yeah, that's what I meant to say before. The seal was still broken, so they didn't really stop anything.
See, that's one thing you're gonna notice, folks, is that the Winchesters are good at cleanup. They're not good at preventative measures.
Well, and like a lot from like a couple episodes through the rest of this season is about stopping seals. Like we got those 66 seals that can't be completed.
They're clubbing those seals.
So, clubbing the seals, baby. Clubbing them. So Sam and Dean are back in the car talking, and Dean tells Sam, like, yeah, I do know about... Oh, nope. Your episode, getting confused. So Sam's back in the apartment, or the motel, and Uriel, the fucking Sodom and Gomorrah angel, shows up and says, why don't you ask your brother about hell? Because he remembers everything.
And you forgot to mention, Uriel introduces us to a new catchphrase for humans, mud monkeys.
I did, man. I like mud monkeys. That's funny. Yeah, that was a good one. Calling us mud monkeys. But elsewhere, Dean is just sort of like sitting in a park watching all the kids and families, and like, well, I might have like fucked up on God's end, but at least I saved all these fucking people. And that's when we get into this Castiel showing up, and there's this conversation. And I wouldn't say this hit a gay meter, but Castiel's like, you mistake me, Dean. Like, I didn't want to wipe out this whole city. I have questions too. Like, what are my orders? I have no idea what's going on. And then Castiel reveals to Dean that my orders weren't to wipe out the city. My orders were to follow you to see what you would do. Which is going to come into play, like, when we learn more about God. That's really funny.
Yeah, and this episode is when Castiel's character started winning over people, and why things evolve the way they do eventually. So,
and Castiel says he doesn't envy Dean.
Of course, he
like having to go through the decisions like that.
And I will say that the scene where the nurse dies bobbing apples is a homage to Halloween 2, because Michael Myers kills a girl dressed as kills a nurse the same way.
I think I've only seen that once. I don't remember. I thought that would be your favorite part of the episode.
I mean, I'm used to girls going down bobbing for things and losing their breath, but you know. What can I say? But
I would give this... I mean, I think everybody who's watching our show definitely needs to watch this episode this month, for sure. But I've seen it so many times, I couldn't give it an honest review.
Yeah, I saw it once before this, and I remembered it right away. As soon as they said Sam Hine, I was like, oh yeah, I know this episode. But I still would give it a 4.0. It's still a really good episode.
I'll be there with you at 4.0, even though they fucked up Samhain and like that whole storyline. It's still a holiday episode. Not a lot of those in Supernatural, so I think everybody needs to watch it.
And now, folks, it's time to go to Fairy Tale Land with my episode. And my episode was season 4, episode 8, Wishful Thinking.
Hilarious episode.
Yes, it is. Written by Ben Edlund and Lou Ballo, which I'm pretty sure we heard both those names before. And directed by the great Robert Singer, Bobby himself. But it starts off, and we see, in a homage to the Invisible Man movies, we see this woman walking after getting out of the shower at a gym, and it looks like she's being followed by something invisible. She throws her towel at the wall and ends up accidentally landing on the invisible figure, which he says, "Hi, Candace." She screams and runs out. We jump to Dean, basically like saying that he doesn't remember hell and denies flat out that he can because apparently Sam's been asking him about it, and he's like, "Did you find a case yet?" And he's like, "Not really," and then Dean, to take the tension off him trying to remember hell, is like, "Oh, I want to go investigate this shower spirit case." And so the boys head over to Concrete, Washington, they go to the restaurant Number One Lucky Chins, a Chinese restaurant, where Candace, the girl, is telling Sam about her ghostly encounter, which he says is for his book he's writing called Supernatural, that he drives all over the country to get these stories for his book.
It's a working title, Jeremy. It's a working title.
Tentatively used. But she tells him that rather than harming her, the spirit knew her name and helped her when she fell, begging her not to tell its mom. Dean's at the site. He finds no EMF, but he and Sam come across a man claiming to have been attacked by Bigfoot to a local cop, which I love that. And they're like, and Dean says he's like every hunter worth their mark knows that there's no such thing as Bigfoot, which it pissed me off that this show did this. Like they could have actually went on like a whole like made Bigfoot something else. Oh, you motherfucker!
I've got castings right here, dude.
They could, but they go to the woods where this guy came from, and they find these huge tracks which don't look like actual Bigfoot feet, and they follow them to a raided liquor store, and they see a little girl on a bike, driving off with a box full of alcohol and porn, along with a sorry note that she's taping on the door, apologizing for having to take all the alcohol and porn.
Well, she took the entire porn aisle too.
And when she rides past Sam and Dean, right at Dean's feet falls a magazine of busty Asian beauties, which Dean is very happy about. But Sam and Dean follow her back to her house, and they're surprised when she tells them that her teddy bear is responsible for the damage. The girl says her teddy is big, real, and can talk, and it's in the midst of an existential crisis, holed up in the TV room, crying at news reports. Which they go inside and they meet this bear. And this is basically, I think it's where they got the idea for the movie Ted. But
yeah, probably, yeah.
And the girl Audrey tells them that she wished for him at the wishing well at Lucky Chin's. So, and the bear's in there questioning his existence. He's like, "Why am I alive?" And she's like, "For tea parties."
Close the door.
But Sam and Dean go to the Number One Chins again, and Dean tests the well by wishing for a sandwich, and his wish immediately comes true when a guy walks in delivering an Italian sub with jalapenos to him. So the owner comes over and they start posing as health inspectors after they finally find their badges for that, because they had to search like every pocket to find the right one.
Yeah.
So they clear the restaurant and drain the fountain. Dean asks Sam if he's tempted to make a wish to reset his life so he could be normal again. Sam says he would never do that, but if he did, he'd ask for Lil's head on a plate, bloody. And they notice a coin doesn't look like the others at the bottom of the fountain, and it's an ancient coin which they cannot pull off. It refuses to move. So Dean goes on research duty while Sam goes to the women's health center to scold the pervy teen who wished for invisibility.
Well, you missed the part where they're like fucking slamming crowbars into this thing, and the Asian dude's like, "Not my fountain."
Yeah, they literally break a mallet, like trying to get this thing off. Like they break a mallet by when they hit it with the crowbar. The freaking mallet shatters and goes backwards. But back at the hotel, Sam finds Dean in the bathroom, puking his brains out. The wishes, it turns out, turn bad, like they always do. Hasn't anyone ever read The Monkey Paw? And the coin is cursed, because Dean finds out that it depicted Tiamat, the Babylonian serpent deity of primordial chaos, which is a real thing. And it's been known to wipe entire towns off the map with the trouble it causes. The only way to stop it is to find the first person who made a wish, and that person has to pull their coin out of the fountain and turn off the well. And we flash back to see the recently alive Bigfoot teddy bear, and
suicidal ideation warning.
He's questioning his reason to be alive, and yet again, and he puts a gun to his head and blows a hole through the back of his head, but it fails to kill itself because it's not real. It's made of fluff. So, and he cries out in anguish as we go to see Dean waking up from a nap. He's dreaming of hell yet again. Sam confronts him about his nightmares and his increased drinking as Dean pulls a freaking bottle off the floor and starts drinking. And Dean just says that he says, "Oh, it's not important." And he figures out that the first wisher, Wesley Mondale, who was a nerdy guy that we actually saw him already in the first scene, getting fed by his girlfriend in the background. He's a nerdy guy who announced his surprise engagement in the paper to a beautiful Hope Lynn Casey. And they go to his house, and at his house, he confesses that his grandfather found the coin while a soldier in North Africa in World War II, but he told him never to use it. But now that's working, Wes is reluctant to undo the wish, and Sam and Dean tell him they threaten him a little, tell him you have to do it.
Well, he was kind of like, before that happened, we saw him and his bride-to-be like, "I love you more than anything. I made you a sandwich. I don't know why I did it, but I couldn't live without you," type crazy shit.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So he's questioning. Like, he was already like, "Hey, I want you to do something that makes you happy. But you make me happy."
Yeah, you can tell he's getting annoyed by like how like right there she is always to do whatever he wants.
Yeah.
But which I don't think I can get sick of that, but okay. But when they get back to the restaurant and they see this small kid, Todd, who we saw earlier in the show, episode 2, who getting chased by bullies because Dean yells at him in the earlier scene, "Run, Forrest, run!" But they see Todd this time with super strength terrorizing the group of bullies. Dean tries to talk to him, but Dean gets his ass kicked by the kid for it. And as Sam's walking into the restaurant, because Dean tells him, "I'll deal with this kid." Sam goes into the restaurant with Wesley, and right as he's about to walk in, he gets struck by a lightning bolt. And Hope walks out after she wished that no one would take away her love for Wes. And at the same time, the boys are trapped in a car, and we see Todd flipping over the car. But Wes removes his coin from the fountain, which reverses all the wishes in town. And so Dean tells Todd, he's like, "Hey, I'm gonna help you out, kid." And he starts screaming. He's like, "Get away from me, you crazy kid! I don't want to get hurt again." And he tells the boys, "You better stay away from him. He's dangerous." But after the wishes are all gone, Hope can't remember Wesley's name at all. And Wesley, very depressed, leaves Sam with a coin. We end the episode, because this actually was a really fast episode. Like, I couldn't believe how fast it was over. But Sam meets Dean at the pier, confirming that the coin's been melted down. Before they leave, Dean confesses something. He's been lying to Sam, and he doesn't remember everything that happened to him in the pit. But Sam tries to get him to talk about it, so he doesn't deal with it on his own. Dean refuses, telling Sam there's no way to make him understand. Sam's flustered at that point. So Dean just walks away.
Game meter of 2.
Well, yeah, good game meter of 2 there. And Sam follows him away as the episode ends. And I'm pretty sure this is the only episode ever that Bigfoot's mentioned it. But
I will say that, like, fucking Wade or whatever his name is probably going to be in some trouble for the whole, like, Cosby, if he didn't impregnate that Hope girl within the month that he had her brainwashed. But, like, she doesn't remember him at all. They had marriage proposals in the newspaper, and she disappeared for a month. That's going to be a hard one to explain.
And it's freaking hilarious, because when Todd flips over the car, he starts yelling, "Kneel before Todd," which it is a reference to Kneel Before Zod from Superman. But
okay.
And
it was a funny episode. It was like
I mean, I love when Dean finds the broken bottles of amaretto and Irish cream, and he calls Bigfoot a girl drinks drunk, which is actually a Kids in the Hall skit about an alcoholic who only drinks overly sweet girl drinks. If you ever watch Kids in the Hall.
From the Hall.
It's Dave.
I was thinking People Under the Stairs.
No, Kids in the Hall was like a SNL type show from Canada in the 90s. Dave Foley, Kevin McDonald. It's a lot of people who became like famous sitcom actors later. Like it was them when they were teenagers, and it's like a sketch comedy show. Like they're all like different skits. It's hilarious. If you ever get a chance to watch it, fucking watch it. I love Kids in the Hall. I haven't watched it in years, but I would go back and watch it any day. It's such a fucking good show. But,
Kids in the Hall.
Yeah. But and the actress who played Hope in this episode co-starred with Jensen Ackles, Dean, in the CW series Dark Angel.
Dark Angel? I didn't... And Jenkel was in that?
Yep. She
like Angel, the Buffy spinoff? There was a Dark Angel?
No, it was called Dark Angel. I don't think it was anything to do with Buffy, but she also was in 2 other episodes of Supernatural as she played the title character in another episode, and she played the shapeshifter victim in Skin from season 1.
Okay. Made some money.
But apparently, when in the beginning of the episode, when Dean shows Sam about the local lottery winner in the Concrete News Daily, the guy who won, George Newman, is the set director for Supernatural, and that's actually a photo of him in the paper. They did it for just for the episode, but
he didn't actually win the lottery, because I know it said like lottery winner forgery or something, like we saw at the end.
Yeah, at the end they reverse it, of course, but yeah. And well, what would you rank this one?
I'd at least 4.5. I thought it was a super funny episode. Standalone too. You don't need to.
I would give it a 4.3. There's way funnier episodes. This was a pretty damn funny one though, so I'll give it a 4.3.
And even if you're not going to watch the series, you could watch this episode and it would make sense and be funny.
Yep. Which it's a good standalone Monster of the Week episode. But that's not new for us this week, folks. That's 2 episodes down, and I'm pretty sure next week we have a mid-season finale dual episode, because it's getting storyline heavy in the next 2 episodes, so we're gonna have a lot of shit to talk about next week. So if this one was fast, we apologize. Next week might be a little longer.
Whoop whoop.
Exactly. But I am freezing my ass off on this porch, fucking nor'easter. So we will see you all next week. Have a good night, everybody.
Listen to Candace Owens, everybody. Have a great week.